Hello everyone, this is Brian from Brick Lifestyle, and today we'll be reviewing the LEGO Batman movie Mr. Freeze's Ice Attack. This set costs around $15 to $20. It comes with 201 pieces, and it is set number 70901. So my overall opinions of the set is that it's a pretty good set for the price you're getting. I wish it was a little bit cheaper, but you do get some good minifigures. I like the Mr. Freeze's mech build, and then the ice sculpture on the side, as well as the mechanical system, are also pretty nice. So let's start off by taking a look at Mr. Freeze's mech. It's a very simple mech, but it works out really well. I love the way Mr. Freeze is just simply integrated in there. It's got some good articulation with the arms and legs. They're a little thin, but I think everything comes together. It works out to form this really nice small build. And just this is a close-up of how he's attached. He's attached with these two studs in this sort of new piece that you can house the figure in. And then if we get a close-up, he's got a small little sort of system that he can control the mech from. Everything folds up together and then he fits in perfectly. The mech is on ball joints, so you can get some pretty nice poses out of it. Even just on one leg, he's able to stand up perfectly. So I think that's a really nice addition. I think the way LEGO has used the new ball joints for this is pretty good. He also has a ball joint attached to the hand, which is attached to the weapon system that Mr. Freeze can also attach. So I like the way they integrated those two together and sort of made one weapon work for both things. So with this set, you also get this sort of mechanical system room or boiler room mini builds. I really like the way they use the red noodle pieces to sort of form piping in this. It's just a small, tiny build. There's not really much on the back side, but I think it works out really well. I like the way they use some pieces to form a computer with the white coffee mug, the sort of pressure gauge on the side, and sort of a lever system. I think it works out really well. I don't know how it's going to be used in the movie. Maybe Mr. Freeze breaks into this or something like that, but there is a hinge. You can sort of move it around, and overall I think it's a really nice little miniature build. And lastly is sort of this frozen ice sculpture, and we actually got one of these with the last Mr. Freeze set, other than the polybag, but the one that was released a couple of years ago. And I think this one is really nice. It's got this simple hinge in it, and you can put a figure in it. I was able to fit this figure in it that has a whole backpack accessory and everything, and it still folds up perfectly. So I think it's a nice addition. I think if you're going to have Mr. Freeze, you have to have one of these because he can freeze people in ice blocks. So now let's take a look at the minifigures including with the set. You get Mr. Freeze, this sort of scientist security guard, and Batman. This is one of the cheaper ways to get Batman, but there are some polybags where he's cheaper in those. The Mr. Freeze, I think, is one of the exclusives to this set, so he's definitely one to get your hands on. I really like the print. The security guard officer, not a huge fan of. I would have preferred maybe a different character, but I think he works as a sort of civilian character. Let's take a look at Mr. Freeze. He's definitely one of the highlights of this set and one of the reasons you'd want to get this set. I believe he's exclusive. I don't know if they're going to release him in any future sets, but he comes with this really nice helmet, which is sort of this glass dome that fits in. They also use this mold for the Red Hood minifigure that we're getting with this lineup, but I think it works really well and it forms a really nice looking Mr. Freeze. This is what Mr. Freeze looks like without the headgear piece on, and it's got some nice printing on the front as well as some nice printing on the back, which helps him look like he's got a really good suit on, and I think even without that helmet headpiece, he still looks like a really nice minifigure. As I showed you earlier, Mr. Freeze can hold the gun unit that the mech can hold. It's a little big, but it does have a stud shooter up top that you can fire off, which gives some playability to the set, so I think it looks and works out pretty well. This is the security guard minifigure that's included with this set. He's not the greatest of minifigures in my opinion, but I think he works well in the set. He's sort of like the lab security guard. I don't know what he's going to be in the movie. Maybe he plays an important role, but he does have sort of this gun, which is maybe a heat gun. Somehow he might help Batman take down Mr. Freeze, but I think he works well with the set. I just wish maybe he was a villain or some sort of extra character. And without the headgear unit, you can see sort of some nice printing on the front for a security guard outfit with a shocked face. And then on the back, he's just sort of got a regular face. But I do like the mustache. I think it works out really nice. Not a lot of back printing, but it's a nice security guard officer minifigure. And lastly, we have the Batman minifigure. I don't know if there's anything exclusive about this minifigure. It is the LEGO Batman movie, so he's going to be in lots of sets. But this is one cheap way to get him other than the polybags. He comes with this nice flamethrower gun that I'm assuming would be used to fight against Mr. Freeze, a batarang, and then I really like the new yellow utility belts. They're using these on a lot of figures from this line, and I really hope they start to use these in the DC minifigures line because I think they look really nice, and they definitely help for the figure. Batman also comes with one of the new capes, and if you haven't seen one of these yet, they're just made out of a different material so they can be folded up and down very easily and sort of has this flowy effect to it. And if we look at Batman with his accessories off, you can see that he's got a black headband with the white eyes. They kind of look like two white eyebrows. I like this a lot better than the old white headband because it just gives some features to Batman's face and like on the back it makes him look like he's squinting with an angry face, and in the front he's got some more open eyes, but it definitely gives some character to the figure. But that's going to do it for today's video. If you guys have any questions, comments, or feedback, be sure to leave those down below in the comment section. Be sure to check out my Instagram page and check out all the other videos that I do with these. I do a time-lapse, I do some minifigure reviews, and so those are all up on my channel. Be sure to check them out. I'm going to leave you guys here. Thank you all for watching, and have a super fantastic day. See ya.